Have you ever imagined a real-life monster, one who isn't part of a fairy tale or a horror movie? A being whose name strikes terror into the hearts of anyone who hears it. A person who didn't just kill, but drank the blood of their innocent victims. A being whose brutality didn't only leave the victims terrified, but shocked an entire nation. This is the chilling story of one such man, a man who became infamous for his horrifying actions. In early 20th century Germany, he was a man whose actions defied logic, humanity, and sanity. His name was Peter Kürten, also known as the Vampire of Düsseldorf. Between 1913 and 1930, this sadistic killer terrorized the city of Düsseldorf, committing a series of gruesome murders and attacks that shook the nation to its core. But Peter Kürten wasn't the only one. Another man, Fritz Haarmann, also known as the Vampire of Hanover, would emerge in a similar dark story that would haunt Germany for decades. Haarmann's reign of terror in the 1920s was marked by unspeakable brutality, and his actions were as horrifying as those of Kürten, if not worse. Both of these men were responsible for some of the most horrifying murders in German history, and what made them even more terrifying was their tendency to commit their gruesome acts with shocking methods that involved drinking the blood of their victims, just like the creatures of the night that we read about in myths. But these were no mythical monsters. These were real men who lived among society, blending in with normal people, hiding their true nature behind the facade of everyday life. But once the darkness inside them was unleashed, the world would never be the same. In this video, we're diving deep into the twisted minds of Peter Kürten and Fritz Haarmann, uncovering their crimes, the horror they unleashed on Germany, and the chilling details of their actions. We'll explore how these men became the vampires of Germany, and how their terrifying spree of killings brought a nation to its knees. Buckle up, because this is not a story for the faint of heart. This is the horrifying tale of real-life monsters, the men who became synonymous with fear in Germany. Part 1. Peter Kürten, the Vampire of Düsseldorf. In the dark recesses of early 20th century Germany, one man's name became synonymous with fear and horror: Peter Kürten. Born on May 26, 1883, in the city of Düsseldorf, Kürten would go on to become one of the most notorious serial killers in history. His name would be forever etched in the annals of crime for his savage killings, many of which involved the macabre act of drinking his victims' blood. As chilling as any monster from folklore, Kürten's reign of terror lasted nearly 2 decades, leaving behind a trail of mutilated bodies in a nation paralyzed by fear. Early life. The making of a monster. Peter Kürten's early life was one marked by cruelty,